What's up, guys? Today we got a super special guest, Matthew Cox. His channel is Diesel Dr. Matt, so be sure to go over and check his channel out. He just released a bio video that is top notch. You guys haven't seen it, you're missing out because it's really awesome. So today we're going to do a little Q&A with Matt. So. My handy dandy notebook open, and
I'm in the hot seat. I'm not
we'll
sure
start.
about this.
This is going to be a good one. All right, the first one is just regular. I'll ask the questions and you do the answers.
Okay.
Because if I do the answers, it won't be near as good.
Whatever.
All right, the first one is Snap-on truck experience. The very first time you walked on a Snap-on truck, what your thoughts were, and did you purchase anything? And if not, what was your first Snap-on purchase?
Very first Snap-on truck experience. Stepped on the Snap-on truck and I got this glazed over look in my eyes, and I really don't remember a whole lot because it was all shiny and pretty and all kinds of neat stuff that I didn't have that I wanted. And I was like, can I afford any of this stuff? Got to looking at some of these prices, I'm like, that's more than my paycheck. But anyhow, we got past that pretty quick. The very first time I stepped on the truck, I did make two purchases that I still have to this day. One is a 1/4 inch nut driver that you can put quarter drive sockets on. Yeah. That's the Comfort Grip. That was when they were first coming out with the Comfort Grip. And then I also purchased a pair of the little red handle strippers and crimpers, just the little short spring-loaded ones. Those were first time I stepped on a Snap-on truck, and that's what I walked off with.
I think that's kind of everybody's when you first walk on there. It's kind of mind-blowing to start with, because I was like, all this cool stuff, you know.
I spent like 30 minutes on there.
And then you start asking prices, and you're, you start laying back down. But then that bug gets you, and you're in debt the rest of your life. That's just how it is.
Yep.
But you got some really nice tools at the end of the day, so I guess.
But also, when I first started, our Snap-on guy wasn't that great. So actually, we had a really good Matco guy. I know that's the M word, but
oh, we got that fixed now.
I know we got that fixed. So, but I spent first year, I probably spent more money with Matco just because he was easier to get along with, and they actually had a new technician program. That was a $2,500 credit account for new technicians that coming into the field. So the first couple years I did spend more with Matco, but since then I've dealt with better Snap-on guys and have realized the difference.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, I know in your biography you touched on your certifications and some of the certifications you got. Like, I feel like you need to go into detail because your list is long. Like, there ain't many folks, especially around here, that's got the stack that you got.
It's not that long. It could be longer, but anyhow, I've got fully certified Cummins from the 6.7 medium duties all the way up to the newest X15 that's out right now. The only thing Cummins I don't have as far as on-highway engines is the 12-liter natural gas. But all the diesels from the mid-range up I've got. Detroit Diesel, I've got all the 60 series certifications on, all the DD platform, which is a current production engine, the DD15, DD13, and now the new DD5 and DD8, which is their 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder medium duty engines they've just come out with the last couple of years. I'm fully certified in all those. Detroit. I've got most of my certifications on the Mercedes engines, Mercedes-Benz MB 4000, MB 900. But they quit production in those quite a few years ago, so that's not that important. But I do have most of the certifications on them. I've got a I've got a Max 609, AC refrigerant license. I got a Eaton Fuller FR metric series transmission, rebuild certified. 2 ASEs. I'm wanting to get master heavy duty diesel ASE certified. I'm still working on that. I've got 2 right now. I've got to have 7 to be masters. But the diesel world's a little different on the ASEs than the automotive side.
Talk about that a little bit too, because a lot of guys are auto guys, not diesel guys.
Most of your automotive technicians, they potential employers really look at ASEs. You know, any of the OEM stuff on the automotive side, whether it be GM or Mercedes or BMW or Chrysler or whoever, you know, they can always get you certified and trained on those if you go to work for one of them. But a lot of them, the industry standard for the automotive field is the ASEs. The diesel world is more geared towards OEM training. You know, your Cummins certifications, Detroit's CAT certification, Eaton Fuller, Freightliner, Western Star, Peterbilt. OEM training is what they look at. I was fortunate enough to, when I was at Detroit, get all my Detroit certifications and get certified. And then when I left and went to Peterbilt, was actually able to get my Cummins certification. And now I am at a Western Star, Cummins, Detroit CAT dealer, and have continued furthering my certifications as new products with Cummins and Detroit have come out. So that's kind of one of the differences, big differences in certifications between automotive and the diesel world.
Are you going to get carrier certified?
Not planning on it. I know some guys though.
No, that's right. Let's see, what, like, you know, you didn't go to a tech school, you actually worked your way up from the bottom to what I consider the top. What are you most proud of going through all of that?
That I'm still here. I'm not dead yet.
That's good enough reason.
That's a good question. I guess I'm most proud because I didn't go to a technical school. I haven't had anything given to me whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I've had to work for everything, and that's made me appreciate it a lot more now, where I'm at in my life than maybe I did when I was younger. When I was younger in my 20s coming up, you know, through the ranks, I just kept my nose to the grindstone and, you know, worked my butt off whenever, however
You're entitled
I needed
to say
to.
Work your ass off.
Well, I did that too, but I still got plenty of ass. But anyhow, I really think that's my greatest achievement, is doing it on my own and being fortunate enough to work at some places that helped me achieve it.
Well, I know, you know, me and you talked about it. And guys, I've been trying to get Matthew to do this bio video for months. I mean, months. He don't think he's got nothing special. And I've told him, I said, man, you don't realize what your story is. I mean, you've really got a good story, you know, because you worked for everything you got and you earned it, you know. I mean, it wasn't like mom and dad said, hey, we've got you, you know, you're booked up here at the IT school in Nashville, you know, you got a toolbox in there full of tools, good luck, have a good time. You know, I mean, you earned everything you got. And
yeah, I came from just an average blue-collar working class family. I mean, we had what we needed, but we didn't always have what we wanted. I mean, it was tough growing up sometimes, but we always had what we needed. So I haven't been privileged with anything other than getting my ass out there and going to work.
Well, I mean, it's paid off for you, like I say, and that's why I wanted you to share the story, because it is really a good story, you know, and some of the best stories people take for granted because that's their life, they live it, they don't understand, you know, and what you've got it's an awesome story, you know, and I hope you guys that are watching my channel will go over to Matt's. I'll make sure we put a link up here, I mean, you can go check out this bio video because it's really, really good. So, back to the hard stuff. Your first mechanical project you remember taking on, you know, whether it being as a kid or maybe after you kind of started in the field or whatever, like what is your first milestone as you would put it as what you did?
Probably the first one I remember as a kid is that I can remember. I'm sure there was others, but I remember me and my dad took it was actually my older brother's truck. He had a 78 Chevy pickup that he bought that had a 350 in it, carbureted, that was knocking. And me and my dad took that engine out, went to a rebuilder that's no longer in business anymore, and bought a rebuilt 350 and put in it. First project I really headed up myself was when I was about 14, 15 years old. I wanted an old car or truck, and me and my dad went and pulled a 1981 Camaro Z28 rolling chassis, no engine, no transmission in it, out of the weeds for $350.
That's cool.
And me and my dad, he was a truck driver at the time, so during the week after school and stuff, I'd go out and tinker with it, whatnot. But the only thing we didn't do to that car was rebuild the transmission and the rear end. Mm-hmm. Me and my dad built the engine in it. We did all the body work to it. I painted it at 15 in a not very good place to paint a vehicle, and it turned out with a Harbor Freight $20 spray gun.
Right.
No trash, no runs, no fisheye.
Wow. Which I know you showed me pictures of that. If you will send me the pictures, I'll put them in here, and that way they can see, because that was a badass car.
It really was. And then I was stupid enough, I had in receipts $6,800 in that thing, and I was stupid enough to sell it. And that's one I wish now I would not have got rid of.
Did you make money on it?
No.
But you live and learn.
You live and learn.
You live and learn. At least you got the experience and the knowledge of building it, and the satisfaction's really anytime you make something.
And that was the first time I learned a painless wiring harness is not painless. Remember that.
That's a good story. See, that would be another good video right there to talk about, because that is a funny story that you shared with me on that one. I enjoyed that one too. That is a good story, that first car build. Like, you should really go in depth on that. All right, so we know that you got to where you're at by working hard. So I know we've talked about it before, you owning your own business. What are your thoughts on owning your own business? I know recently your mind's kind of changed a little bit, just a little, but when I first talked to you about opening up your own shop or whatever, your answer was hell no. so talk a little bit about that.
Well, my thing with owning your own business, and I guess it comes from my upbringing and my background, and I guess it's more of a fear more than anything, that if I go into business for myself, it's not that I don't think I can be successful at it, make it happen. I think my biggest fear is that I will be totally 110% in charge of making a paycheck every week. And me knowing me and my work ethic is not conducive to having a family life. because I will be working 24/7, whatever it takes, to make sure bills get paid, money gets made, expenses get paid, all that. That's my biggest fear.
And it's a legitimate fear. I mean, you know, when me and Shy bought our first truck, the one that I got the big picture of in the office, I was scared to death, you know, because I knew I had that big payment, all the overhead, the insurance, fuel,
Right.
and just anything that's going to normally tear up on the truck, you know.
Right.
And hell, come Friday, you're still going to have a house payment. You still need your cell phone. You're still going to have
Yep.
groceries. You're still going to have a car to drive.
Right.
You know, it is a scary, I mean, it is a legitimate fear.
And I think the reason my mindset has changed, I turned 33 this year, and I've gotten a little older, gotten a little wiser. It's not something I'm going to jump out and do next month or even next year, but it's something I've definitely been thinking about for the future down the road, is possibly going into business for myself, either with a shop or a service truck or two or something. I don't know yet, but it is something I've been thinking more about.
I believe you'll be fine because, I mean, first of all, you know what you're doing, you know.
Sometimes.
And, other than waiting on parts, like, you're not going to be waiting on your own labor, which is going to help you. You know, you're not going to have to depend on somebody else that may not be feeling good today or whatever, you know, to get a job done that you make profit off of. But you have a strong work ethic, very strong work ethic, and I mean, you're good at what you do, and I definitely believe you'll be successful because these damn things, they're always going to tear up. You know, like, you're going to have an unlimited supply of work.
They haven't made a diesel truck yet that won't break down.
Yeah.
That's
So
for
I
sure.
believe I believe you'll be fine. Like, I would not worry about Matthew Cox owning his own place. Let's see,
Glad one of us has faith.
whatever. The most aggravating job. I know, me and you, I'm fortunate enough to get to talk to you a lot through the week. And, what would you say? Let's just talk about the last 6 months.
Last 6 months, most aggravating job. I'm gonna be honest, it's probably that damn wiper motor the other day. Stupid wiper motor in a Western Star 4700.
I'll put a picture of that right here too, because he texted it to me.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Step one of the manual says remove dash. That's never a good way to start a repair.
Take the whole dash out and then
Yeah.
come back later.
Yeah, yeah, that's never a good way to. That's probably the most recent. I think I'm trying to think of one.
But on a side note, he didn't have to pull the dash. He got it out, fixed it, back in there
No, I outsmarted it.
without pulling the dash.
I outsmarted it. I didn't pull the dash. Gosh, I've had a number through the years. I'm sitting here trying to think of one. I tell you one that was a trick, and it was because we did not have the correct tools. We had a DD engine in a Cascadia that grenaded, and it had that stupid DT12 Detroit transmission, automated transmission behind it. And the input shaft of the transmission is not like a standard input shaft. It's got thinner grooves, smaller, all that. And after the fact, we knew, but we didn't have. They actually make it looks like a big old long pair of scissors, but it's got grooves that you can stick up the inspection hole and turn that input shaft to line it up on the clutch. Because you have to bolt the clutch to the flywheel to spline.
Right.
You can't do it like a manual transmission, put the clutch on the input shaft and then bolt it to the engine. So we didn't have the tongs to turn the input shaft to spline it in, and we had to get creative in doing that. But we got it done. But that took us a couple hours to get that input shaft splined into that clutch on that DT12, put the engine back in.
I'm glad it's you instead of me. Let's see. What advice would you have for someone that wants to go into the diesel, automotive, or mechanic field? You know, what advice would you give them? Because I know right now, today, everybody thinks IT school is the only way to go. Like, you have to go to school, you have to go to some kind of technical school before you can even think about. And a lot of people think age matters too. You know, like, man, I'm 28-year-old, I'm too old to start something new. So what advice would you give those?
Don't. Just kidding. That's just my personal inside joke. But for somebody that's just set on being an automotive mechanic, diesel mechanic, whatever, be ready to work your ass off. Start on the ground floor, sweeping floors, doing oil changes, brakes, just the nastiest grunt work you can think of. That's what you're going to start out doing. Technical school can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. I've seen people come out of diesel technical schools that can take a test on paper and can't do the work.
Yeah.
You know, it depends. I'm not going to say I wouldn't advise anybody not to go to a technical school if they have the opportunity. But in my opinion, I don't believe it's necessary.
Right.
The biggest thing not going to a technical school is you're going to have to find, you know, ask friends, family, whatever, whatever field you're thinking about going into, if they know anybody that works at anywhere you might be interested in starting out at, you know, whether it be a Firestone or a Pep Boys, or, you know, shoot, maybe even start as a lube tech at a GM dealership or something like that. Ask your friends, ask your family, see if they know anybody, maybe somebody in your family is. Ask them questions, ask questions. And then be prepared to do the grungiest, dirtiest work that nobody else in the place wants to do. But do it with a smile, keep your nose to the grindstone, stay after it, give your employer a hard day's work for a hard day's pay, and just work for it.
I say don't be complacent either. You know, don't ever be satisfied. Don't ever be satisfied just changing oil or just putting new joints in or brake jobs, you know.
Well, and another thing is, and employers, if they're any good, pick up on this. Whatever job you do, whether it's an oil change or a brake job or a wheel seal or whatever, take pride in your work. Be proud of what you're doing. Do it right. Turn out a good product for the customer. And employers see that and pay attention, especially in the lower end guys that are looking to move up. There may be two guys doing the same oil changes at a GM dealership. We'll just say, for instance, if you're doing a better job than the other guy, a quicker job than the other guy, and you know, you don't leave fingerprints all over the car or leave an oil fill cap loose or anything like that, your chances of getting promoted or getting the opportunity for training and advancement is higher than the other guy. I guarantee it.
See, I'm real OCD, and I look at it that way. You know, like when I do a wiring job, I want all my zip ties to be the same way, same spacing, you know, cut flush. But I'm picky about the way I do stuff. Like when I get through with the oil change, I want the oil pan to be clean and dry. I want to wipe it down, spray it with brake cleaner. The same way with oil filters or anything like that. Like I want it to look better when I back it out than it does when I pour it in.
Right.
And some people just, they don't have that, you know, well, I change the oil, that's all I get paid to do, and that's good enough for them, but I don't know, I guess for me, I guess I challenge myself on everything I do. I mean, it may be something as simple as, like, you know, we may run some, you know, chicken lights on the bumper. I want it to look better than what it would look like if the factory brought it in here, you know, like, that's just my personal thing, way I do it, you know, but a lot of people is not like that.
Just those little details go a long way, especially, you know, starting out in the industry for sure.
Yep. And employers like that.
Absolutely.
Definitely
Because they don't
like
have
that.
to deal with customers griping about greasy fingerprints or footprints or stuff like that. So they really appreciate that and pay attention to it. I
Nobody
guarantee you.
likes grease on their seats or headliners.
No.
All right, I know I told you I had two kind of tough ones, so here's one of them. If you wasn't doing this today, what do you think you'd be doing?
Truck driver or working in an oil field.
All good jobs.
That was my the three industries I was drawn to as a teenager. And around the time I decided finally decided a career I wanted to go into. Me and my wife now were dating pretty serious at the time. She didn't want me to be away from home. So that kind of knocked oil field and truck driving out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of how I ended up as a diesel tech.
Well, I need to make sure to tell Ashley thank you for that. All right, here comes the other hard one. This one's tough. And not only do I want to know this, all these guys want to know this.
Uh-oh.
Why do we not have more Diesel Doctor content? Why are we not creating YouTube?
Because, number one, now where I work, I don't have enough time, honestly, at work. Number two, my editing sucks.
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
I know a guy. I know a guy.
Huh. Jay Young?
Yeah. Send it to Jay. It'll get edited. I
Yeah,
promise
that's
you.
what
It'll
I'm
get
talking
edited.
Yeah, it's, I've been trying to kind of figure out what direction I want my channel to go. Like I say, right now at work, it's hard to shoot anything at work. But I do have a couple projects coming up at home that haven't happened yet. I know I've been saying this for a little while, but I am going to do some video and some stuff at home. So I'm going to try to make a better effort to turn out some kind of content.
That's what everybody wants to see.
I can try. That's all I can do.
Hey, I've told you before, editing don't make the video. It's all about the content. And like I told Jay Young, editing is kind of like buffing a car. If it ain't got a good paint job, you can't edit it to be pretty. You gotta have that base there. So don't worry about the editing. I know a guy.
Okay.
I promise you.
I had to get his number from him.
All right, now I got some rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So these are gonna be quick, like as soon as it comes into your brain, spit it out.
Ice cream.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. You ready?
Yep.
Comfort grip or regular handles?
Comfort grip all the way.
Flex head, lock and flex head, or regular headed ratchets?
Flex head.
Lock
With a shade of locking flex head.
Oh,
I'm slowly coming around to the locking flex
lock
head.
and flex head's God's gift to the ratchets. All right, ratchet wrench or regular wrench?
Ratchet wrench.
Let's see, battery tools, Snap-on or Milwaukee?
Ooh, right now, Milwaukee. Hands down.
Milwaukee, huh?
Snap-on's got to step their game up.
Why ain't you got a Milwaukee ratchet? Listen to this one.
Hang on. Because I like the button on the Snap-on 14.4 ratchet. And I don't really care for the paddle style handle on the Milwaukee. But I am fixing to purchase one to try.
Streamlight or Coastlight?
Streamlight.
Streamlight. Cornwell or Snap-on as far as hand tools?
Hardline hand tools, Snap-on.
The tool you feel you wasted the most money on?
This is probably going to be an odd one. 3/8 air ratchet. Because most of the time, you can't really get a 3/8 air ratchet and air hose in there where you need it.
Right.
So you usually end up just grabbing a regular ratchet anyway. I've owned two through the years, and neither one of them I used hardly ever. Because like I say, this was even before the battery ratchets came out. Just between how long and bulky they are, and an air hose, and getting into places you need them. That's probably the biggest one.
I agree with that. That's a good answer.
You know, I
hate my air ratchets too.
I have good answers every now and then.
All right, guys. I feel like I'm lucky enough to have got to meet you. I mean, I consider you a good friend of mine, and it's always great to get to hang out. I appreciate you letting me do this interview with you today.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, I'm going to leave a card at the end of this. Be sure to go over and check out Matt's channel, because the bio video is primo. You are not going to want to miss that. And thanks for watching. Like always, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe down here below, and we will catch you guys next time. Y'all have a great one.
See you.